This video will demonstrate starting the PCB Editor tool, and the general overview of the entire PCB Editor window. If you have installed the software using the standard wizard, the tools will be configured in folders for you. The folder locations will be different based upon the Windows OS version you have. I'm using Windows 10. So I'm going to the Start window. The PCB Editor will be under a Cadence PCB 2023 folder. And I'm going to select the PCB Editor 2023 option. The first time you run the PCB Editor, you will probably be given a Product Choices window. The top half select the product section that will be based upon the different products that you have purchased and are available to you. Down the bottom section, the available product options. You can also turn on options, if again they have been purchased licenses. In this case we're going to use the Allegro X Designer layout. If I don't want this window to appear every time I start the tool, I can go to the bottom and say Use as Default. And it will automatically use this every time I start the tool. Once you've picked the product and the options you want, you just click on OK. The system will check out those licenses available and start the PCB Editor. If this is the first time you started the tool, you'll get a Start page. As shown here, the Start tab. We'll talk about this in a little bit, and let's discuss the different parts of the windows. The top is the title bar. The first section of the title bar where it says Allegro X Designer Layout. That is the license I have selected. So if you remember, I choose to use the Allegro X Designer Layout product, and that's selected there. The next field, Unnamed Board, that's the current database that I have opened. The unnamed board is default if you've never used the tool before. As you start working on databases, whether they be footprints or board layouts, that will be changed to the last database you opened. In the project directory is my current working directory or your home location. Below the title bar is the menu bar. Most of the commands are available in the menu bar. Standard Windows selection method is the left mouse button, which if I wanted to do the File Open command, I select that. There may be sub-menus available with notice by the arrows. Below the menu bar is the icon bar. These are icons or shortcuts to all the different commands that are available. You have the standard tooltip option. If you move your mouse above that, it will give you the tooltip for what command that's really running. You can customize these full bars if you want. You can delete sections out. You can add your own commands in there, etc. Again, standard Windows selection. Left-click on the icon to run the File Open command. Below that in the Start window. Here is the Design window. I'm going to just open up the Cadence demo board. Just so we can see, and this is the Design window. This is where you do your placement, routing, footprints, and so on. To the right are three important windows. The Options window, Find window, and Visibility window. These are tabs. Right now you can move these around. Select the float option. Move the option window by dragging. The little blue area represents where that's going to be placed. You can close them if you want, but if you accidentally close them, you can use the View Windows command. You'll notice option is now untoggled or unchecked, so I'll turn that back on. And if I want to put that back to where it was before, I'll just stick it with these guys. And now they're all tapped again. Moving down, we have the command window. This is an input-output window, so you can type commands and you will get prompts and error message down here. So if I wanted to run the open command, I could type it there. Next to the command window is the view window or the world window. This will give you a little indicator of where you are zoomed in relative to the entire extents. You'll notice that there is a copy of the board outline placed in there. I'm going to run the zoom in command over here real quickly. You know, there's a white rectangle in the view window that represents where I am zoomed in relative to the rest of the board. Below the command window and the view window is the status bar. This has several fields. The first one is basically a red light. Green means everything is good, the system is communicating with you and you can go ahead and proceed. Yellow indicates the process is being run, but you can interrupt it. You can hit the escape key, or there will be a command inside where you can click the stop it. Red means there's a process running and you cannot interrupt the process, so you have to wait for the process to end before you can continue. Next is the command that's being run, and if I move my mouse there, you'll get a little pop-up that states what the current active command is. Right now it says idle. That means no command is currently being run. Next to that is a flipboard mode. You can actually view this design from the bottom side, and that will indicate that you're in the flip mode. The next window is the current active class and subclass. Again, you can select in there, and that will let me change the active subclass, and I can also change the class. Next to the active class subclass is the indicator of the X and Y locations of my mouse. As I move my mouse around, you notice those X and Y's change. Next to that is a pick indicator, the P button. If I wanted to actually zoom or select an actual X and Y coordinate, I could pick that, and a pop-up will allow me to type in a value, and then you can pick or zoom into that location. Next to the P is a toggle for absolute or relative. Right now it's set for absolute mode. So as I move my mouse, you will notice it's relative to the 0, 0 of my design. I can put that into a relative mode. I can select at that point. That's now my 0, 0, and now as I move my mouse, all those coordinates are relative to that last pick. Next to the A is the indicator for scripts. So if you're going to record a script, then that will say rec followed by the script name that you're recording. Next is the super filter. I can use that in filtering out objects. I can turn different filters on and off. Next is the application mode. Right now I'm in placement edit. I can select them there and can change to any application mode that is available to me. Next is the DRC indicator. Green indicates you have no DRCs, yellow indicates you have DRCs, but you can continue. In red means that your DRC is out of date and you must update your DRC in order to get a true count of the DRCs, if any. The final field is the number of items selected. This is used in the pre-select mode. You notice that it updated with the number of items that I've selected in that area. One last note, remember in the beginning when we fired up the tool, we chose a product and there's an option to use that by default. If you turn on the user's default and you open the tool and you want to change the product that you are using, you can go to File menu, select Change Editor, and we'll bring back the product window, and I could turn on or off options and select a different product if I wanted. This concludes the video that demonstrated Start in the PCB Editor tool and a general overview of the entire PCB Editor window.